So we have a wide variety of different AI coding tools floating around in the market. For example, we have Cursor, Windsurf, Lovable, Bolt.new, V0, Databutton, Tempo AI, Tray AI, GitHub Copilot, and then we have Client and a lot more. So if you are a newbie and if you are in the market out there looking for the best AI coding tool, then in this video, I'll give you some pointers that will actually help you to find the best AI coding tool for your specific use case. So we'll go ahead and compare the features that each of these platforms has to offer, and also I'll go ahead and give the exact same prompt to all these AI tools, and we'll go ahead and compare the performance and analyze the results as well. Now if that sounds interesting, without wasting any further ado, let's jump straight in. And now first and foremost, I'll go ahead and categorize all these coding tools into two categories. So we have group A and group B, and in group A I'll go ahead and include all these tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and VS Code extensions like Client, or maybe let's say GitHub Copilot. And on group B, I'll go ahead and include tools like Lovable, Bolt, V0, Databutton, Tempo AI, and all that, okay? And now there is a specific reason I've first of all categorized these tools into two of these distinct categories. For example, all these tools like Cursor, Windsurf, or Client, or GitHub Copilot, these tools are geared towards people who already know about the basis of coding or have some foundational knowledge. Obviously, even if you have no coding knowledge whatsoever, you can still use these tools to build cool applications and all that. But that's not the point that I'm trying to make. These tools are very less opinionated and gives you total flexibility and control, and also comes with some advanced features. Okay. And now you'll be like, Astro, all these are actually great, right? Well, not exactly. These tools can be a bit overwhelming for people who have no idea about, let's say, coding or have no coding background whatsoever, right? So if a person want to, let's say, deploy the app, connect to a database, or add authentication, let's say implement Stripe payments and all that, things can get a little tricky because Cursor, Windsurf, and all these tools does not really have any direct integrations with these third-party tools. But on the flip side, all these tools on Group B have integrations with third-party service providers like Stripe, Polar, and Lemon Squeezy for payments, or Firebase, Supabase, or Convex for backend, and Clerk or Supabase and Firebase for authentication and all that. So let's say you want to implement a full-fledged subscription-based payment system to your app, you could actually go ahead and do it in a press of a button. Drop your API key and subscription-based payment is fully set up. Or let's say you want to add authentication or a real database, you could go ahead and integrate Supabase or Convex or let's say Firestore or Firebase with the press of a button, and you can get going. And once everything is done, let's say you want to deploy your app and make it live on the internet with the press of a button, you can actually go ahead and deploy this whatever site that you have created and make it live on the internet as well. Okay. Now, if you were to use tools like Cursor or Windsurf, obviously you can actually go ahead and deploy it and do all that kind of stuff. But the learning curve, or let's say a person with no coding knowledge, may find it a little overwhelming, but that's the thing. And the best thing to do will be to use a combination of both these tools. Okay. For example, in Lovable, we have two-way GitHub sync option. So whatever changes that you make on Lovable, you can go ahead and sync it up with your GitHub repository. And then you could go ahead and clone that GitHub repository and use it with Cursor, and then sync these changes to GitHub. And now all these changes that you made using Cursor will instantly get reflected on Lovable. And that way you can actually go ahead and use Cursor and Lovable in combination, and that is going to be a god tier of, let's say, combination to use. So you'll have like advanced flexibility, total control, and you can actually go ahead and start a foundation, or let's say the starting point or the MVP with Lovable, and then continue working on it using Cursor. Next up is the tech stack options. For example, let's say if you're about to use Windsurf or Cursor, you have total control over whatever tech stack that you want to use. You could go ahead and create a project in React, Next.js, Svelte, Vue, Next, or create a backend using Node, Python, whatever be that you want to do. These tools give you total control over it. But that's not the case when it comes to tools on Group B. For example, let's say you're about to use Databutton, then you can only use React for your frontend and Python for your backend. Or let's say if you're about to use Lovable, then you can only use React. Or let's say if you're about to use Tempo Labs, then you can only use Next.js or Vue React. Okay. And on the other hand, if you're about to use, let's say, Bolt.new, then it gives you a bit more control because you can go ahead and create a Svelte project, React, Remix, or Astro, or whatever project that you want to create. Bolt.new gives you a bit more functionality and options. And again, you can even go ahead and build a full stack mobile app using Expo with Bolt.new as well. Okay. So that is also one consideration that you'll have to take. So if you are a person planning to create a Next.js project, then there's no point in going and trying out, let's say, Databutton or let's say Lovable.dev. Okay. Now these guys don't really support Next.js. Or let's say you want to try application with a Python backend, then the only option that you have is Databutton. Or let's say you want to try Next.js, then you have a couple of options like V0 or maybe Tempo AI and also Bolt.new. Okay, so there are tiny bits of things like this that can actually make up your decision. So these requirements and specific use case is what that differentiates all these tools. And now that you have these ideas, basic pointers and all that, we'll go ahead and try each of these tools, and I'll go ahead and give the exact same prompt to all these AI tools, and along the way we'll go ahead and analyze the result and also give you a platform overview and also show you all the integrations and all the cool features each platform or each AI coding tool has to offer. So let's get started. Okay, so this right here is Cursor AI, and this is like a code editor or a dedicated IDE that is actually built on top of Visual Studio Code. So this is something that you'll have to download and set up on your computer and not something that you can access on your web browser. So if you want to, you can just head over to cursor.com and download the installer and install it on your computer, and it is available for both Windows and macOS. So once you open Cursor, this is going to be the kind of interface that you'll see. So as opposed to VS Code, towards the right side you will find this interface right here, and this is where you access all these cool AI capabilities of the platform. For example, if I click on, let's say, this option right here, I can bring up this interface and I can select between agent mode, ask mode or edit mode. For now, I'll keep it as in the agent mode. And now I've went ahead and installed Next.js. So basically I went ahead and created a simple Next.js project in here. And let me go ahead and start the development server first. So this right here is the boilerplate page of Next.js. And now let's say I want to build a website where users could go ahead and upload image with some text in it, and the website should process the image and give the users the option to copy the text directly or download the text in a TXT document. So that is the exact same prompt that I'll give to all these AI coding tools, and we'll go ahead and analyze the result. So here I have already typed the prompt. Now I can go ahead and copy that and I'll go ahead and paste it in here. Okay, create a website where users could upload an image with some text in it, and the website should process the image and show the copyable text or the option to download the .txt file. Okay, so this is the prompt I'll give. Now the AI within Cursor, that is Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So if you want to, you can also go ahead and use Claude 3.7 Sonnet as well. Okay, so you can go ahead and use this AI model, and now the AI will go ahead and start writing the code and doing all that stuff. So as you can see, now Cursor is asking me to install all these necessary dependencies like Tesseract, okay, Chakra UI and all that. So I can click on this run command option, and now Cursor itself will run this npm command in the terminal and install all the required packages. Okay, so that is also one cool thing. So you don't have to type or work with terminal. AI will do all that for you. And let's say you want to try out a different AI model, you can go ahead and click on this drop down menu right here, and here we have a couple of these options. For example, we have Claude 3.5 Sonnet, 3.7 Sonnet, 3.7 Sonnet Thinking, GPT-4o, GPT-4.5 Preview, and then we have these 4o Mini, O1 and Cursor Small as well. Okay, and if you want to, let's say, chat with your code base, then you can go ahead and click on this icon right here and put it in the ask mode, and then you can go ahead and converse with the AI, or you can go ahead and ideate plans or talk with the AI, and you can go ahead and, if you have any questions or let's say have a doubt in the approach that you want to be taking, you can go ahead and ask the AI using the ask option right here, which I'll show you in a bit. And now it is asking me to install another dependency. Click on run command, and now as you can see, the AI is creating all these files. First of all, it started by updating the layout.tsx file, and then it is updating the page.tsx file, and it has created a new file called as providers.tsx file, and it is doing all the tasks for you. Okay, now the whole process will take some time, so I'll go ahead and wait for it to complete the same. So the AI is done writing the code, and I went ahead and ran my project, and as you can see, there you go, we have some error in here. And as you can see, if I try to visit my website, I'm seeing some kind of error in here. And this is the right time to talk about our sponsors for today's video, Scrimba. Coding with AI is cool, but what's not cool is relying on it without knowing or understanding the basics of programming. Building SaaS websites and mobile apps using AI can be efficient, but I frequently run into errors and deal with AI hallucinations, making the development process more laborious than expected. AI tools can generate impressive codes, but if you don't know how to read, debug or adapt it, you will find yourself stuck when things go wrong, and that's where Scrimba comes into play. Scrimba is an interactive learning platform designed to teach you coding from the ground up. Unlike traditional tutorials, Scrimba offers a hands-on experience where you can pause a lesson and edit the code directly all within your web browser, and this unique approach lets you learn by doing and not just by watching. Whether you're diving into HTML, CSS or JavaScript or advanced frameworks like React, Scrimba's courses are curated by industry experts to ensure you're learning skills that matter the most. What makes Scrimba even better is its real-time feedback loop. You can test your changes instantly and truly understand how code works. Plus, its vibrant community and collaborative features means you are never learning alone. So before you dive headfirst into all these AI coding tools, make sure you have got a solid foundation. So check out Scrimba using the first link in the description and start building the skills that make you unstoppable in your coding journey. So if you are a person with no coding knowledge whatsoever, you will have no clue as to why you're seeing this error in the first place. So all you gotta do is to actually go ahead and select the entire error code. You can go ahead and paste it in here and say, I get the following error when I try to run the app, and hit enter. So let's see. Alright, so after a bit of back and forth with cursor, I guess we have our app working. So it says image to text converter, upload an image containing text, and we will convert it into a editable text format. So let me go ahead and select the image, click on open and process image, and hopefully it works. Let's see. Oh, there you have it. And for reference, the image that we uploaded is this one. So burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it was just okay. So our feature or the core feature of our app is working, and I can click on download as txt file. Okay, it is working. But the thing is, I had to go through a lot of these errors, and fixing it was actually time consuming process. So this is one problem that I was talking about. So if you're about to use Cursor AI, then you are in total control of everything. Okay, it is very less opinionated, and you can go ahead and use whatever text type that you want to, or whatever service provider that you want to, and all that. And now I have built this site using Cursor AI, and next up, let's just say I want to deploy the changes and make it live on the internet. For that, first I will have to create a GitHub repository, then push this to my GitHub repo. Then I'll have to use, let's say, Windsurf to deploy the app, then add domain and do all that kind of stuff. Or let's say I want to add authentication or a database. It's going to be time consuming, and if you have no technical knowledge whatsoever, things can get a little overwhelming for you. So that's something that I've found using Cursor. So if you are a person with no coding background whatsoever, working with Cursor can be a little overwhelming, okay? But in Cursor, we have a lot of these cool features where you can actually go ahead and put the @ symbol and add these things into the context. Or if you have a documentation page of, let's say, any third-party website, you can go ahead and put that option in the doc section. And here we have all these, docs that I've added already. For example, let's say I want to implement supervised authentication. I can go ahead and use this, and I can go ahead and say add supervised authentication and do all that. Okay, so this is for Cursor AI, and Cursor AI is not for everyone is what I feel. So if you're looking for a solution that works right out of the box, and you want to be as fast as possible, and you don't want to deal with any technicalities of developing a website or app, then using tools in the group B will be a good option. But if you are planning to learn to code, or let's say you have coding knowledge or basic foundation ready, then Cursor AI is the good way to go. It gives you the total control. It's like an advanced tool with almost all features that you will ever need. Okay, so that is the decision that you'll have to make. And now the flow and the exact process of using Cursor and Windsurf is almost exactly the same. So I've quite extensively used both of the tools, and I've found them to be equally good at things. So a lot of people have actually different opinions about Windsurf and Cursor, but as far as I'm concerned, I can get things done, and almost all the features are almost exactly the same. And next up, I'm going to open Tempo, Databutton, Lovable, and Bolt.new, all 4 of them in 4 different tabs, and I'll go ahead and paste the exact same prompt, and then we'll go ahead and analyze the result. And at the end, I'll give you my verdict as to which one should you be using, whether you should be using Cursor or Windsurf or any of these tools in here. Okay, so first of all, I'll go ahead and sign into my account. So I went ahead and signed into my account on all 4 of this platform. So first up, we'll start with Lovable. So I'll go ahead and give that exact same prompt and hit send. Same is the case with Bolt.new. And by the way, I don't really have a subscription in Bolt.new. I'm trying to use the free version. So let's see how far we can go. I'll go ahead and hit enter. Next up, we have Tempo AI. So I'll go ahead and click on create a new project, generate an app, paste it. And for this one, I'll select Next.js. And I don't need any of these, so I'll keep it as none or blank template and click on next. And finally, we'll go to Databutton, new app, and I can describe the app. Click on, let's say, continue, continue without integration, and let's see. Okay, so as you can see, Lovable has started writing the code already, and Bolt.new as well, and Tempo too. And out of all 4 of these AI coding tools that could be accessed within a web browser, the one that takes the most time, I guess, is going to be Databutton, because it has to divide it into multiple plans and then implement the features one by one, and all that. So as you can see, after we enter, let's say, a detailed description, it will go ahead and create all these plans like this. So as you can see, it has created a plan, or let's say a to-do item for creating a landing page, build the image upload component, implement OCR processing, create the results and display the component, integrate upload and results component, and all that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start with this task that says build the image upload component. Alright, so Lovable is done writing the code, and here we have a basic version ready. So let me go ahead and try to drop an image and see if it actually works. Dropping the image in here, and it says processing your image, and we have some kind of error. So I'll go ahead and, okay, here we have some error. Okay, I'll try to fix it first. Okay, here we have the version from Bolt.new. I'll go ahead and drag and drop our image. It says processing your image, and let's see. Okay, look at that. In just one single prompt, I was able to generate this website that converts images into text. And as you can see, I went ahead and uploaded an image, and after processing, here we have the actual output. Wow, that is actually really good. And next up we have Tempo. Okay, so I can click on this play button right here to open it up in a new tab, and here you have the option to upload an image. I'll go ahead and drag and drop the image in here. So it says processing, and hopefully it works. Let's see. Okay, results tab. These are some dummy data. So I'll go ahead and say I could only see some dummy text in the results section. Make the app work. Okay, hit enter, and here we, okay, so seems like that's done. So let me try to upload the image to Lovable. Processing your image, and hopefully it works. Oh yes, there you have it. So Lovable also worked, and we just had to, okay, so in total Lovable took 2 prompts. So first one, it had some kind of error, and then we pasted or clicked on this fix error button, and in the second prompt, Lovable also is working. So we have that actual feature of extracting text from the image working in Lovable. So after a bit of back and forth with Tempo AI and Databutton, we have the functionality working in all of these apps. So this app right here is built using Tempo, and I can drag and drop an image, and it says processing, and once done, I can find the extracted text in here. Okay, and similar way, this right here is the app developed using Databutton, and I can drag and drop an image in here as well, and click on extract text, and as you can see, after processing, we can find the output in here as well. Okay, so this is how we can use all of these platforms. Now that the core functionality of our app is working on all 4 of these platforms, I'll give you some platform overview and also show you some cool features or highlighted features of each of these platforms. So this right here is Lovable.dev, and from what I've seen is Lovable.dev has the best Superbase integration out there. So if you want to add authentication or a real database or edge functions to your let's say project, and that too without touching Superbase directly, Lovable.dev is the way to go. So all you gotta do is to click on the Superbase icon right here, select your project, connect it, and once connected, you can go ahead and start implementing authentication, database, object storage, or bucket storage, and all that within a press of a button. So that's one cool thing about Lovable.dev. And once you're done creating the project, and if you want to publish it and make it live instantly, that too with the press of a button, you can go ahead and click on this option that says publish, and click on the publish option. And now Lovable will give you a direct URL that you can share, and your app is instantly deployed. And in a similar fashion, if you want to push your project to a GitHub repository, you can click on this GitHub option, connect to your GitHub account, create a repository, and push the content as well. Okay. And now apart from that, Lovable also has an option where you can instantly connect a custom domain and make your project live on your own custom domain. For example, I can click on this publish button right here, click on manage domains option, and you can find an option that says add a domain you want. You can click on that one, follow this on-screen steps, and that way you can connect a real domain or custom domain and make your app live on that one. And if you want to, you can click on this edit option right here, select each of these individual text and make edits like this. So you can actually go ahead and edit it directly even without having to use AI. So if you want to make some specific changes and you don't want to burn thousands of tokens just for making a minor change, you can actually go ahead and select all these elements using this tool right here and make edits and do all that. Okay. And now the thing with Lovable is that you can only create React based projects using Lovable. So if you want to, let's say, create an Next.js based project or Astro, Svelte or any other, let's say, framework or library, you don't have option for that. So that is for Lovable.dev. And next up we have Bolt.new, and Bolt also has this option to connect to Supabase, and it works, but it is not as robust as the one that you get with Lovable. And again, once you're done creating the project, you can actually go ahead and deploy it to Netlify in a single click using Bolt.new. And for that, all you gotta do is to click on this deploy option, and now it will say, I'll help you deploy this application to Netlify. And after it's done, it will give you a URL, and you can press that link and go ahead and log into your Netlify account and claim that project and add it to your, let's say, Netlify account. And then you can go ahead and connect a custom domain and you can take it up from there. So basically deploying a project that you've created using Bolt.new is actually very simple. So all you gotta do is to click on this button or the link right there, and you gotta log into your account, and then you can go ahead and add it to your Netlify account and make it live. And as you can see, your site has been successfully deployed. And if I visit this Netlify deployment address, I should be able to view the preview. So I can go ahead and add an image, process it, and view the output. And as easy as that. Okay. And another cool thing about Bolt.new is that it supports a wide variety of different frameworks and libraries. For example, you could create a project with Astro, Vite, Next.js. We have Next.js, Vue, then we have Remix, Svelte, then we have React, Angular, and all that. In fact, you can even create a mobile app using Expo with Bolt.new. And let's say if you are into building mobile apps, then Cursor or Windsurf and Bolt.new is the way to go, because Lovable or let's say Tempo or none of the other platforms can create mobile apps. So in short, if you want the option to use a wide variety of different frameworks and libraries, then Bolt.new is the way to go. And if you don't want to pay for Bolt.new, then they also have an open source version called as Bolt.diy that you can locally install on your computer and then connect an LLM or AI model, and you can start using it as well. And if you want to learn more about that, I will leave a link to that in the I button above, so you can go ahead and watch that. And now this right here is Tempo AI. And my personal favorite feature of Tempo has to be the ability to integrate various third-party service providers, like for example Polar or Stripe for payments, or Convex or Supabase for backend, or Clerk or Supabase for authentication and all that. You can literally go ahead and integrate all this with the press of a button. Okay, all you gotta do is to copy your API key, paste it in Tempo, and you're pretty much sorted, and everything will be taken care of. Okay, so Tempo has something called a starter template where you can go ahead and select whatever stuff that you want to include within your project and integrate Stripe or Convex or Supabase or Clerk, all that with the press of a button. So that is something that I like a lot. And now as far as tech stack is concerned, you can create Vite, React, and Next.js project using Tempo AI. And also it gives you the option to edit. For example, let's say I can select one of these elements right here. I can select this element right here and click on this fill option and select a different color. And this way I can easily change the colors and all that within this styles tab within Tempo AI. Now that is something interesting. And if you want to view the files, you can come over to this section and view all that. And if you want to integrate Supabase, you can actually do that using this connect Supabase option. You have the option to convert a Figma design into code using Tempo. And you also have the option to connect to GitHub, create a repository, and push the content as well. And now that's for Tempo AI. And next up, we have Databutton. And as far as Databutton is concerned, you can create apps with a React frontend and Python backend. And now that's the only option that you got. And now another cool thing is that you can actually go ahead and integrate things like authentication, database, bucket storage, and all that to your project using Firebase, or you can implement payments to your project using Stripe or Lemon Squeezy. And you have all that third-party integrations. Okay. And now they also have the starter template feature where you can begin with a starter template, drop in your API keys, and implement Stripe and Firebase with the press of a button. So that's also one cool thing that I found. And once you're done creating everything, you can click on this deploy button right here and make it live on the internet as well. So you have that one-click deployment. But another thing that I've noticed is that there is no way for you to sync your project to GitHub. So that is something that I would love to see in our Databutton. Maybe in the future they will add that. So that's for Databutton. So as you saw, we have a wide variety of different AI coding tools out there. So we have Cursor, Windsurf, Lovable, Bolt, then we have Databutton, Tempo AI, and all that. So if you want advanced control over your project, and if you are, let's say, a person who has some foundation knowledge or basic knowledge about coding, and if you want that complete flexibility and total freedom and want a AI coordinator that is less opinionated, then Cursor is the way to go. Okay, so with Cursor you can build pretty much anything, be it a mobile app, a web app, or even a system software. You can build it using Cursor. And now whether you want to choose Cursor or Windsurf, that's a question that a lot of people ask me. But the thing is, I've quite extensively used both these AI IDEs, and the thing is, I found them to be equally good at what they're doing. Okay, you get similar set of features and pretty much everything is there in both of these IDEs, and both of them are actually built on top of Visual Studio Code. So you get all that extensions and plugins and all settings that is available within VS Code. You get to enjoy that in, let's say, Cursor and Windsurf as well. Okay, so basically what I would say is that if you want advanced control and if you know the basics of coding, then Cursor will be the best option for you. And if not, let's say you don't have any coding background, or you don't want to deal with any technicalities of creating a website or a web project, and you don't have any plans to learn coding, then the tools in the group B will be the right option for you. And in group B, we went ahead and tested Tempo Labs AI, Databutton, Bolt.new, and Lovable. And now, as you saw, creating a project in all 4 of these platforms is pretty simple. You go ahead and visit their website, sign up for a new account, and then you can go ahead and paste a prompt and hit enter, and now the AI will do its thing. You don't even have to download any dependency or any software and install it. All you need is a web browser and you're pretty much sorted. And the best part with all of these tools is that after you're done creating the project, with the press of a button, you can actually go ahead and make the website live on the internet, all with a press of a button. So you don't have to deal with DevOps stuff or anything. So if you were to use Cursor and all that, deploying a website or implementing authentication and that kind of stuff can be a little overwhelming for users. But that thing is actually sorted if you want to use this web-based AI coordinators. For example, if you want to, let's say, implement authentication or let's say database or payments using Stripe, you could literally do that with the press of a button. All you gotta do is to copy your API key, paste it in the whatever section that is shown, and with the press of a button, you will have that ready, up and running. Now that is one cool thing that I've found. All these tools have integrations with various service providers like Convex, Clerk, Superbase, Firestore, Firebase, Stripe, Polar, and even Lemon Squeezy. So that's one USP of using these web-based tools. And now here comes the biggest question of all, and that is which AI coding tool or which AI coding platform should you be using for your next project? So first up, we have Cursor AI. And if you want advanced control over your project, complete flexibility, total freedom, and you want a tool that is not at all opinionated at all, then Cursor and Windsurf is the way to go. And if you are like, okay, Astro, which one is the best, Cursor or Windsurf? I mean, to me at least, both of them felt exactly like the same. So both of them are actually IDEs built on top of Visual Studio Code, and both of them works. Okay, so pretty much all these features that you get on both these platforms are the same. And now to take things to the next level, the workflow that I would suggest you do is to use a combination of Lovable and Cursor. So Lovable has this two-way GitHub sync option. So you can actually go ahead and create a MVP or the initial project using Lovable, push it to GitHub, and then you can go ahead and clone that repository to your computer and edit it further using Windsurf or Cursor, and then make the changes live or push the changes. Then you can work on Lovable. So in short, you get to work on the same project with Cursor and Lovable, and that I guess is the best workflow out there, even if you are a beginner or a person with no coding knowledge. And no, I'm not telling you that if you have no coding knowledge whatsoever, you can't use Cursor for development. But what I'm telling, or the point that I'm trying to make, is you will have to involve a bit more into the technicalities of developing the site. For example, let's say you want to deploy your project, or let's say add authentication, Stripe for payment, webhooks and all that thing. You will have to put a bit more effort into it, and you need to learn the basis of coding if you want to use Cursor to the next level. So that's the basic point that I'm trying to make. And on the other hand, we have all these tools in group B like Tempo Labs, Databutton, and Lovable and all that. So if you want a AI platform that you could use to create mobile apps, or let's say projects in various different libraries and frameworks like Astro, let's say Next.js, Vite, Expo, convert a Figma design into code and all that, then Bolt.new is actually the best option for you right now. And now if you're looking for a AI coding tool to specifically work with React projects, then Lovable is what I would suggest. And now if you want a dedicated Python backend and React frontend, then Databutton is the way to go. Or if you want to, let's say, implement Stripe or Polar in a single click, or Convex, or let's say Superbase in a single click, or Clerk authentication in a single click, and all that, and design is something that you want to take seriously, then Tempo AI is the one that you would suggest. And now it is really hard for me to kind of pinpoint and say this is the best AI coding tool out there for you, because it depends on a lot about the specific use case and your tech stack requirements. Okay. So for example, if you want to, let's say, build a Next.js project, obviously you can't use Databutton or Lovable, right? So the only two options that you have is to, let's say, use Tempo AI or Bolt.new, right? So that way you have to go ahead and jot down, or let's say note down all these requirements that you have, and then you can go ahead and compare the features that all these individual AI coding tool has to offer, and then you can find the perfect tool that works for you. And one thing that I would suggest you do is go ahead and try a combination of Cursor and Lovable, and trust me, it is magical and it works really great. And that's pretty much all I wanted to show you in this video. And I know I was still not able to give you an exact answer to your question as to which is absolutely the best AI tool, because something like that does not exist, and a tool might be great for me but not for you, or a tool might actually suit all my use cases but not for you. Okay, so it depends on a lot of factors like the tech stack, so what exactly you're looking for, the third-party integrations that matters to you the most, the one-click deployment option, the option to connect a custom domain, the editing features, and all that, right? So you can go ahead and compare the all these features that all these AI coding tools has to offer, and you can go ahead and select the best one for your use case. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope you guys found this video useful. If yes, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.